Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym, Marbar, with the Matchroom Gym. Everyone's gone home, and I mean everyone. Last man in the gym today, Conor Benn.
Last man standing.
How are you, Conor?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself, mate?
All good, mate, all good. Everything going well ahead of your next fight, which will be at the O2 next Saturday?
Yeah, it couldn't be better. I mean, this camp's gone phenomenal, and, you know, it couldn't be much better.
So, I'm trying to do 2 things at once.
I know.
But people won't know the struggle here at the moment. So, I mean, so far you haven't been pro too long, but everything's sort of gone to plan as such for you.
Gone more than expected. I mean, my life's changed drastically, and, you know, everything's falling into place slowly. My whole team around me, you know, everything's looking good for this next fight, September the 10th.
There always seems to be a lot of hype around when you're on a bill. That exciting...
Ben-esque. Yeah.
He's keeping people entertained. Like I said, how long can that go on for?
Well, for as long as my career's on the up, and I don't see it coming down for a very long time. You know, that's just the beginning. I haven't even peaked. You know, I'm still young, still learning my craft, and, you know, there's plenty of room for achievement, for changing my ways, and, you know, just getting better at what I do.
Have you learnt anything in the last sort of few months, the short few months you've been pro, that you didn't know beforehand?
Not let my ego get the better of me.
Really?
You know? Yeah. You know, I want to get hit, I'm going to hit you back twice as hard sort of attitude. Nice. You hit me back. Yeah, you got me. Well done. But I'll catch you with the next flush, 2-3 shots, and do it beautifully and swiftly. You know, show my boxing ability, which I never had much faith in, and now I'm realising, oh mate, you know, in sparring, you know, things are just falling into place, and I'm starting to feel like an all-round complete season pro.
Two people sort of labelled you a little bit wild and reckless in, I think it was your second fight, but is that part of the learning curve for you?
Why you got to bring that up for?
Come on, we're talking.
Yeah, more than reckless. It was a horrible, scrappy, disappointing fight. But, you know, I went back to the changing room and I cried. You know, I thought to myself, what am I doing? I couldn't hold it back. Like, what was I doing? And, you know, that had to happen for me to then progress for my next fight. And, you know, that was the breaking of me personally. I thought, oh, mate, what am I doing? Like, if I carry on like this, why am I even in the game? And you think that sometimes, but you know, I just had to take it on the chin, all the criticism, and, you know, really up my game. It was either, oh, I'm gonna stay all like upset and disappointed and you're not going nowhere attitude, or I pick myself up and use my boxing skills and actually listen to Tony.
Your dad obviously comes across as someone who, good or bad, will tell you exactly how it is regarding your performance.
As soon as I went back to the change room, he made me sure of it.
Is he a bigger critic of you than you are of yourself?
No, I'm probably my harshest critic. You know, I make sure I keep myself in check, and when I do, because I ain't got no one here to tell me behind closed doors. So in my personal life, I ain't got no one to say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, or, you know, it's all, I got to do that myself. So I'm thinking, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Am I training at my hardest when I'm not in the gym? Should I not be doing an hour and a half minute runs instead of an hour and 10? You know, so sort of things like I make sure I keep myself in check and I'm training as hard as I possibly can. In sparring as well, you know, sometimes I just call Tone up straight after sparring. Yo, Tone, how did I do today in sparring? You know, are you done good? You know, and that's what I need. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right, because there's no room for slip-ups and mess-ups.
I remember from that first press conference where you announced as a match you were signing, your dad was sitting there, and, you know, your dad was saying it how it was, that he wasn't going to be there for every fight, and he was quite happy, you know, for you to sort of learn your trade here, stand on your own 2 feet under the guidance of like Tony, Eddie. But it's not a case of your dad's here and he's letting you do that. He's a million miles away. So, I mean, where do you sort of find the line there of sort of wanting your dad sort of his influence, but also not wanting him too much around you?
No, he's raised me well. Everything I do, I think, like I've seen this nice Porsche I want to buy, for example. I know I ain't gonna buy it because although I could, I could without telling my dad, but I feel like he's there still. I feel like he'd be like, why are you doing that, son? Save your money to buy a gaff. So sort of things like that, I feel like he's still there, but then I remember, that's just the way he's raised me for the 20 years of my life. And he's there, he's there. He's only one phone call away, and he gives me his opinion on everything I do.
Would you like it if he was at every one of your fights?
Yeah, I would, because beside us, like, father and son clash, and we are very dominant, and we do clash very hard sometimes. But then I think, all right, Conor, bite your tongue. Your dad is Nigel Benn, and I do wish he was there at every fight. He's a living legend, and who wouldn't want a living legend in their corner?
Absolutely, and I think the fact that, like I said, he's, I suppose more so where he lives. He knew that if you're going to have your pro career here in England, then he has to do that and kind of step aside, come here when he does, but ultimately let you, like I said earlier, let you stand on your own 2 feet.
Well, you got to remember, this wasn't planned. This was not planned. While I was at Hatton's, I was planning on staying amateur for 3 more years. This was not planned. It's all like, wow, my life's changed drastically, and I'm either going to make it or I'm going to fail. I'm either going to be a world champion or he's going to be, his son was all right, and what's that? So I've been thrown in the deep end, but I'm learning how to swim. I'm learning how to swim and I'm getting there. People think, look, all this pressure. I mean, all this guy, look, he's got publicity, he's got this, I look at him driving his car. But you know what? I got a lot of pressure to deal with, considering I only had 20 amateur fights, not knowing if I was any good, really. It's a lot of pressure.
A lot of people ask me, that I get this a lot, they go, Conor Benn, what's he like? I promise you, a lot of people ask me and they go, I think, obviously more so because it's just a curiosity factor, being Nigel's son, they're just wondering, are you the same as Nigel? And I think, like I said, a lot of people sort of look at other father and son comparisons and kind of expect that sort of same relationship, but we can see the relationship you've got with your dad and we've seen you two together, and it seems like you give as good as you get when it comes to your dad. Well,
that's it. My dad's. It's taken me 20 years to really realise my dad's a legend, because I lived abroad my whole life. I didn't know my dad was this iconic, British boxing fanatic. Like, I didn't know, I didn't see him in that sort of light. So for me now to come here, and when we go out, it's more, people are still like, right, Nigel Benn, everywhere we go, he's still getting the fittest birds come round him, and I'm thinking, rah, man, like, what must you have been like when you were in your peak, and I'm starting to realise it now.
But I mean, like I said, when people do ask me that, I kind of say there's something about you that is very likeable. Like I said to you, you talk you're confident. I don't think that sort of gets confused with being arrogant. I think you talk very confident and positively, and I think that comes across well, like I said, as a very likeable person in boxing. I think a lot of people will share that same opinion. So whatever you're doing the right thing.
Well, I don't plan. I never want to come across arrogant. I never want to come across flashy and all this. And when people say you're like a cheap Mayweather, I'm not. I'm young and I love nice things. Because if you were in my position, don't lie, you'd have that Rolex around your wrist.
True.
So you're telling me I'm gonna live it up as much as I can. There's no better feeling than being young and having nice things. Yeah. When you get old, it's like, yeah, he's old. He's got nice things. Oh, he's young. Oh, look, he's got a nice watch. He's got the nice car. And you can't. That's something installed in me. I want nice things. I want to live it up, live it large. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm not a humble human being who can go back to living off £25 a week. You know, because when I first came in, my dad was giving me £25 a week, £25 to £50. That was it. That was it. Did he spoil me with lifestyle? Living in Spain, he had his Porsches, his Cadillacs. He bought me things, but never gave me money. I had to go and work for money. And that's
what did you go and do for money then?
like scaffolding.
Scaffolding.
Yeah, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Getting up at 5:30 in the morning to get to work by 6. And I'd done it for about 3 months while boxing at the same time. And I'm not saying that's long. People do it a whole lifetime. So I'm not saying like I've done a hard graft my whole life. No, but he taught me the value of money because of the way he was brought up. So him giving me £25, £50 a week had to last me £50 a week. There was no asking for no more. And I think I like to think I know the value of money because the way my parents raised me. Yeah, they did spoil me with lifestyle, living in the sun for 12 years. But when I do have a lot of money, I am going to spend it. I am going to enjoy it, Mum. I will enjoy my money. I will spend it on a nice brand new Porsche, and I will buy myself the newest Rolex out. Okay? Just making that clear because I'm young. I can do that.
There was a thing, I remember, I think it was Eddie Hearn said, I think it was Ggg-Brook, was it Carl Froch? One of them anyway, when they won a world title, that he'd buy him a watch. But I think where he's got about 10 world champions now, I don't think they've all got a watch.
Well, I think me and Eddie need to have that chat.
I think you do as well. I think you need to say, if I'm world champion within the next, give yourself 2.5, 3 years. Give yourself 3 years.
You know, I'm asking for an AP.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not messing about.
No, not messing about. Got to go in large.
Say to him, not a vacant title either, I'll beat the champion. Yeah, get me a watch. Get that in.
I'll have that chat with him, but
In
I don't
fact,
think
I'll
it'll
bring it
go
up.
anywhere.
The next time I interview him, I'm going to bring it up. So
Make sure you let me know what he says, because I'll hold him to it, and I'll be like, no, man, I ain't fighting for a world title unless I get my watch.
He did say it once. He did that. Oh, I think it was Brook. I think he'd done it with
Joshua. He done it with Joshua. I know that.
Right. Well, like I said, he's got a few world
But
champions now.
I know he gave Joshua his watch.
I know someone's ended up with a Casio somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But you've got quite sort of a long succession of fights now coming up back to back, month to month. You're on this bill at the O2, then you're on the Crolla and Linares bill.
24th, and then hopefully October the 7th on the Ricky Burns bill. November and December. Let's see if I can smash out, well, either November or December. So that's 7 fights in 8 months that I've been pro. And, you know, if I have another 7, 8 fights next year, who knows what I'm ready for? You know, because if I fight the way I spar, I don't see why I can't be fighting for a title next year. But there's a difference in performing with the pressure of I've got to look good doing this because I'm going to get criticised hard by whatever I do in my actions. So, you know, it's all let's take it step by step, baby steps. Well, that you can't really use that because I'm like fighting on live on Sky Sports, so you can't really use baby steps.
No, but in you can only speak about
should be your call.
No, but
and then
I
wish I actually thought of the your call. Sometimes I think to myself,
do you know what? You probably will at some point.
If I because like the atmosphere in your call is unbelievable.
I think you get to a point possibly after you've had a certain amount of fights, depending on how your career is going. But your call, I mean, most of the top fighters, I'd say like 90% of the top fighters from this country have at some point fought your call. So
maybe when I fight for something, maybe I can say to Ed Hearn, look, I have respect for your call and all the great fighters who have fought in your call, and my dad's fought in your call. You need to make me head of the bill in your call and make me main event.
There's a show on at the end of the month.
Yeah, I know, but I've got...
All right, listen, how optimistic are you? Listen, you're fighting on the 24th. I think there's one on the 29th. Maybe a bit too soon. But I'm sure there'll be an opportunity for you to fight at your call if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, Conor, you're fighting on the undercard of a huge middleweight unification clash between Triple G, Gennady Golovkin and Ggg-Brook. Ggg-Brook moving up 2 weights to face Golovkin. Do you give Kell a chance in the fight, Conor?
Yeah, I do. My personal opinion, very slim chance he's going to win it because he's going up 2 weights to someone who's a knockout artist, one of a kind. You know, all credit to him for taking the fight, though. I mean, that's impressive. But Golovkin is one of a kind, and I rate him so highly. He's just got that power where when you get hit, you stay hurt. And you know, let's see how long Ggg-Brook can keep him off him. Really.
Is it going to come down to the fact whether Brook can withstand to the power of Golovkin?
That's what I reckon, and I reckon within 6 we'll find out. Because Golovkin just takes his time, you know, paces it, and just throws in these lethal shots, and he don't miss. Whether he hits someone his weight on the gloves, he takes them down. He ain't even catching them flush. You know, it's one of the things where, you know, let's see what happens on the night. But I hope Ggg-Brook does it. But I'd have to put my money on Golovkin.
Obviously, the fight we were expecting before the bombshell dropped that Golovkin was fighting Brook was Eubank to fight Golovkin, and that fight, regardless of whatever, was close to happening. It couldn't be sorted out. But what chance would you have given Eubank in against Golovkin?
I think there would have been more of a chance Ggg-Brook, more of a chance Eubank Jr. winning than Ggg-Brook would, you know, because I think Eubank Jr. is a great fighter. Definitely will be world class very soon, and I think he will prove that. But again, can Eubank Jr. take a shot from Golovkin? Because he got hit with Spike O'Sullivan, got hurt. Who else? There was someone else he got hit with and got hurt. You think Golovkin's a bit one of a kind, legend.
But I mean, regardless of who's facing who, you can't knock someone for wanting to be in fights, because there's a big difference between talking about wanting someone and actually getting in the ring with them.
Doing it 100%.
And you know, I'm one of these people who, I believe, the reason for the fight didn't happen between Golovkin and Eubank wasn't down to Eubank Jr. And I think I do believe that Eubank Jr. would face Golovkin if obviously the negotiations would have gone in that way. But interesting to see, because he defended his British title against Tommy Langford, and
he'll win that.
Yeah, listen, he'll be a favourite in that fight. Tommy Langford's undefeated, but you'd have to say that Eubank would be a favourite in that fight. No disrespect to Tommy Langford, obviously, but what he does after that,
I think it puts him in a good position. Me personally, I would have taken, well, again, it wasn't Eubank Jr.'s fault. I would have taken a fight with Golovkin. Win or lose, you're still up there. You know, and then say if he lost, I would have gone back and fought Saunders. You know, you still got that opportunity there. Whereas now he's playing with someone who's got an unbeaten record. For what? You know, you've proven your point. You need to make that step up now to prove you're world class and dominate that fight. And really, from there, I reckon his career he'll be A class.
Well, we'll have to see. But before any talk of obviously Golovkin, like I said, we're hoping that Ggg-Brook can do what maybe people think he can't do, and it would be probably the biggest shock of recent years, if not the biggest. So, but like I said, as Brits willing him to do it, I'm sure you are as well.
I see, and he'll get a lot of respect from that. So.
All right, well listen, Conor, thank you very much for staying in the gym. You've actually got a lot of the gym up yourself.
Yeah, I'm here last, and I feel great about it. Now at 6 o'clock I got gym again. So
have you really?
Yeah, strength and conditioning, mate.
All right, well listen, best of luck. I'm sure we'll catch up with you in fight week, which kicks off next Tuesday with a public workout. So
all right, cool.
I'm sure we'll catch up with you around then.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
All right.
Cheers, KUGAN.
KUGAN, CASSIUS, Conor Benn, IFL TV. Thank you very much.